And you're muted if you're talking, Des.
Oh, try again. Welcome everybody. If we can just get some thumbs up in the chat, make sure the audio is okay. I imagine it's fine. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, can hear you well.
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be an hour debate between TJump and Josh. It's going to be on TJump's moral theory. James is going to be the sort of moderator. So yeah, if TJump, you could just lay out your theory for like quick as possible, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, there's a moral intuition is our feelings towards what we think is morality. We see a baby drowning, we feel it's bad, and so we label that as immoral. Helping an old lady across the street, we feel that's good. We label that moral. There's a pattern to these things, and it changes across time. That's moral progress. So, like women's rights, LGBT rights, ending slavery, voters' rights. My theory is that this pattern will continue. More technology, more intelligence, it will continue, and it has an ending point, and that ending point is what I describe as the best of all possible worlds, and that this pattern will be the same among all conscious agents in the universe given enough technology, and that's it.
So wait, is that a moral realist position?
Yep.
Okay, so I guess I have two basic thoughts on what you're saying. Could it be the case that when you say people make moral progress, you're saying that there's some change? Is any change moral progress?
There's a pattern to the change, and we're labeling the pattern progress.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out what that means. Like when you say there's
there's a direction. There's one direction it's going and not in a different direction. And so there's a graph, and you can plot the line on the graph, and it has an arrow pointing in one direction and not the other directions. You can label the graph whatever you want. It makes no difference. I'm going to label it progress.
Well, but I don't understand. When you say it's going in a direction, I don't understand why it couldn't just be a scatter plot of random points. I don't understand what makes it the case that it's following some trend.
Because the changes are consistently adding one thing and not other things. So it's not random. If it consistently adds one more of one thing, then it's not random. Which is
when you say adds more of one thing, what is the thing it's adding?
Seeing involuntary imposition of wills as immoral. More freedom, more choice.
And what you mean by immoral is what exactly?
Involuntary imposition of will.
So wait, so you're saying, I'm sort of not understanding this standard, right? So the idea is the things that are being added to this graph are involuntary impositions of will?
Yes, as technology and intelligence increase, things that we once saw as not immoral, which were involuntary impositions of will, we now see as immoral. And so the standard of what morality is increasing the number of involuntary impositions of will that we see as immoral. For example, we thought it was okay to eat animals at one point, and now we're like, no, they're conscious, we shouldn't eat them. And so eating animals is an involuntary imposition of will, which was not seen as immoral and now is tending to be seen as more immoral. So as future technology increases, we have more tendency to see more infringements of will as immoral.
When you say, so like imagine it went the other way, is this just some sort of like descriptive fact? You're just saying that this is how you're using the term and that's it? You don't have any
It's
robust
descriptive
theory?
of a phenomenon, obviously. That's by definition. There's a phenomenon, moral intuitions, and it changes, moral progress. And we're describing that phenomenon.
Right, but it sounds to me like you're saying people can't be systematically mistaken about what is or is not immoral. Basically, your
No, that's
idea
stupid.
is...
That's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, people could be mistaken, but that doesn't matter. We
Well,
could
I'm
all be in a
saying,
brain in a
well,
vat. Like, so
you didn't
what?
pay attention to what I said. I don't know why you're saying it's the dumbest thing, because it's clear that you didn't pay attention. The reason it's
You
clear
said people
is
could be
because
systematically mistaken.
yeah,
It's literally irrelevant.
systematically. You took that word out of your response, and the reason that's salient is because
No,
what
no,
I
no,
was
no,
pointing
no,
out.
no. I literally addressed that. We could all be in a brain in a vat, which means we would be systematically mistaken about pretty much everything, and it literally is irrelevant.
Okay, well, that's what I was saying. When you say it's irrelevant, I don't understand what that means. Besides saying something like,
brain in a vat's arguments are irrelevant. It doesn't matter if we could be 100% wrong about everything.
I don't know why you keep interrupting me. You didn't even know the proposition I was about to say, so I don't understand what the point is. You don't know what I was about to say.
Yes, I do.
So you don't know whether or not it's relevant.
Yes, because anything that says we could be systematically mistaken is inherently irrelevant.
What's your argument for that?
Because we could be systemically mistaken about literally everything, brain in a vat. It literally doesn't matter. Fallibilism. It doesn't matter.
How does it follow that? I wasn't even, none of this
Make your argument. Just stop wasting
none of this
time.
epistemology stuff is relevant to what I'm talking about.
Ask your
It
question.
doesn't
Hurry
follow.
up. Come on.
I'm not, look, I'm not going to just let you fucking steamroll the conversation. I want to know, in virtue of what, is it irrelevant? Are things like brain in a vat scenarios irrelevant? You haven't explained that.
Fallibilism. You're an idiot.
What does fallibilism have to do with anything?
You don't need absolute certainty for knowledge. So you can claim that we have like a tendency to see shit. Like, oh, look, there's things in the world like science. The fact that we could be a brain in a vat is I don't give a shit. If that's your argument, you lose. It's that simple.
Yeah, so that wasn't, do you have an inference? Do you even know what a fucking inference is?
Yes.
None of that follows.
Stop your philosophabble, just make an argument.
Oh my God, this is so frustrating. All right, so what I was going to say, which you rudely interrupted, which is that the idea of what's moral and immoral is parasitic on psychology, right?
What? Parasitic? Like it drains psychology? That doesn't make sense.
No, it depends on our notions. You don't even know what the word parasitic means in this context. It's so crazy.
I'm quite familiar with the word parasitic. Yeah. You are not. So
do you know what it means for something to be parasitic on something else?
Yes, you're an idiot. So
what does it mean? It means it depends on something else, right?
So obviously it depends on the phenomenon, and the phenomenon is what we're looking at in our psychology. So saying it's dependent on the thing that we see, which is the phenomenon, obviously, that's literally, again, the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Look, but the point I was trying to make is just that either the way you're using the term, what you're talking about is just the way people use terms, right? The way people use the term moral, or you're not talking about that.
No,
right?
I'm saying there is a phenomenon. We experience the phenomenon. It corresponds to a thing.
Right, okay.
And then we use words to describe that thing.
Yeah, and you're saying that thing, you're calling that thing morality, right?
Well, we use the word morality to describe the thing, yes.
Right, so basically the point of what you're saying is that you're describing some state of affairs. That state of affairs is the number of involuntary impositions of will. I don't even know, that sounds redundant, right? It seems like you could just say impositions of will, because
that's no. There is a pattern in psychology of us changing our view of morality. When we use the word morality, it refers to things we see that we feel are good or bad. Helping an old lady,
when you say change our view of morality, are you saying change your view of what constitutes the phenomenon?
That is a gibberish question. No, it literally means
what
that
do you mean it's
one
a
society.
Question? You were the one who fucking said it. You were the one who said it was a phenomenon.
No. Your question.
You were the one who said it was a fucking phenomenon,
dumbass,
right? And
dumbass. Mute him so I can just so I can get explain to his dumbass.
Change our view of what the phenomenon is.
You're such a dumbass. I'm just gonna leave if this dumbass keeps doing stupid shit. Like, this is so easy to understand. There is a change from one time to another time from what people see as moral. It changes in a pattern. Now, when you say
holy
shit,
see,
you dumbass.
When you say what people see as moral,
yes,
right,
their feelings.
It sounds like, oh my God, I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm asking if they're.
How are you so fucking stupid? This is basic moral psychology.
What was I going to ask you? What was I going to ask you?
I have no idea what you're going to ask, because you said that was stupid.
Shut
up, dumbass. Shut up,
dumbass.
I'm just going to mute your dumbass on my end so I can't hear you. Dumbass is muted.
Josh, please hang on real quick, guys. 1 second.
Fucking moron.
Let's try to set this up again. Josh, can you?
No, I get to answer. I get to say things first, and then he can talk. But his dumbass, who doesn't understand basic morality and basic moral realism, he's just a fucking moron. Yes, there's a pattern in changes of moral feelings. Holy shit! Basic fucking moral intuition. Just Google it, you dumbass.
So let's do this. Let's let TJump 30 seconds what you want to say, and then Josh will ask his question, and we'll move into that part.
Do moral intuitions exist? Yes. Do they change? Yes. Is there a pattern? Yes. Fucking dumbass. None of those are hard to understand.
Josh, you're good to ask your question now.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about moral beliefs when I was saying when people, you're saying that people's moral beliefs change, basically, is what you're saying, right? Moral beliefs,
Yes.
that's a more succinct
In
way
a
of putting
pattern.
it, right? Now, if you say people's moral beliefs change, my question is, are they tracking the phenomenon you're talking about, or is moral progress merely the idea that moral beliefs change?
If they change in a pattern, maximizing one property and not other properties, that's a pattern.
Obviously, if they change in a pattern, that's a pattern. That's redundant. You don't need to say redundant, stupid
Then it's
shit.
not random. It's not any
Right.
change.
Yeah, but when I asked the question, when I was talking about systematic deception, it sounds, what I was trying to ask is, uh, could it be the case that most people use the term to describe a phenomenon that's different than what you're describing, right? That was my point. Now, obviously, it seems like it's contingently true that people use the term to refer to what you're saying that they're referring to, right?
Absolutely none
You
of that
don't,
made sense. Like, what do you mean? Do people use the word morality to mean something different? Like, who cares?
yeah, you think that that's a contingent truth, right? People don't need to use the
What?
word any particular way.
Yeah, what people use the word to mean is irrelevant.
Well, I don't think it's irrelevant because your whole point is that it's supposed to be tracking some phenomena. You're saying that the way
No,
people use the
the way
term
people
tracks this
use the word is
phenomenon.
irrelevant. The way I'm using the word describes a phenomenon that exists independent of any opinion or usage of language whatsoever. There is a thing.
Right,
It's there. It exists. It doesn't matter what people use the word to mean.
right, okay. So you're saying that uh, as far as you're concerned, people's moral intuitions could completely differ. It might have nothing to do in people's
What?
minds about involuntary impositions of will, right?
Whether people agree with my definition doesn't matter if the things they see as moral fits on the pattern. So if they define, I don't know, water as I don't know, something that's not H2O, and I say it's H2O, and they're like, oh, but we use a different definition. And I'm like, well, guess what? All of the things in your definition fit as consequences of how I define water, then I'm still right. So it doesn't matter how they define the word. It's literally irrelevant. Like, as long as the data points still fit the pattern and my pattern is accurately describing everything along that data point, it doesn't matter if they define it as slightly different.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to figure out is how this is not just some semantic difference between a moral realist, because what I take a moral realist to be is a person who thinks that there are true normative facts, that is to say, things that one ought or ought not do,
Nope, that's
and
wrong.
what that
So
you
moral
I don't
realism is just that there are stance-independent statements, propositions, which are true or false about morality. Oughts aren't. There's
what
multiple versions of morality that don't include oughts. You don't need oughts. That's you're begging the question on that one. So it's just saying there are moral facts which are true or false, independent of mind. That's it.
yeah. So again, when you say that there are moral facts, and you're saying that these are not normative moral facts, which is to say that they have to do with oughts or ought nots. I
No,
take that to be changing
wrong.
the subject, right? My
Then you're a dumbass. Just Google moral realism, Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. The definition says there is no accepted singular requirement of that in the definition.
it's fine if there's not a singular accepted definition. I'm not talking about definitions. I'm talking about concepts. So it doesn't
Right. I'm
matter to
saying
me if there was.
the concept that you're applying to the definition is not in any philosophical definition. It's your preferred subjective philosopho-junk community of discord, but that's not actually in philosophy. No, that's not a
You think that
philosophical
norms don't
entailment.
have to do with. You think that norms
Yes,
don't have
that's
to
why I
do with
literally told you Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy definition, moral realism, not in there. It's not in there. Your
right? Yeah.
position
Yeah.
is
When you
not
said
philosophy.
I don't know. Hold on a sec. I'm just trying to figure out when you say that. Uh, you're saying that the definition that's on there is that there are stance independent moral facts, right?
Yes, what?
Yeah. So if that's the definition, that doesn't exclude what I'm saying, because moral facts there could be understood as facts about what one ought or oughtn't do.
No, that part not in there. So that it literally says that that is not a requirement. There are many moralist positions that do not have that. So if that's your interpretation, you're just wrong, because they literally say there are moral realism models that don't have that, and it's accepted in philosophy because that's not a requirement. So if that's what you think it is, you're just wrong about philosophy.
When you say it's wrong about philosophy, it's that the point is that there's a conceptual difference. Whether or not it's in philosophy just happens to be some contingent fact. I mean, it could have been the case that people philosophized for thousands of years and never talked about morality, right? That's a possible world.
I have no
So it's
idea what you're talking about
irrelevant.
right now.
It's
So
it's
like,
irrelevant to point out that it's not in philosophy or it is in philosophy. I mean, it's obviously in philosophy. I could, if you want,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I didn't come to this debate prepared to, that you were such a fucking dumbass that you didn't
Dumbass, shut the
realize
fuck up. You're
you
a
didn't
fucking
realize
moron.
that there was a
Shut the
standard.
fuck
You didn't
up,
realize that there was a
fucking moron.
standard
Oh my God.
understanding of moral facts such that they're norms, such that they ought or
Dumbass,
oughtn't be done.
I
didn't
just
realize that you
answered
were
the
so
question.
fucking stupid.
Mute the
that-
dumbass. Mute the
that I have
fucking
to
dumbass,
go
or I'm gonna leave.
through
Mute the dumbass,
all
or I'm
of the
gone.
different
Wait,
Mute the
wait, wait, wait,
dumbass.
wait, wait,
Mute
wait,
the
wait,
dumbass, or I'm
wait.
gone.
Josh,
Wait,
wait.
but
Mute
wait,
the
wait,
fucking
no,
dumbass now.
Wait,
You
he's
got
gonna leave.
5
Josh,
seconds.
he's gonna leave.
5,
fucking one.
4, 3. Fucking dumbass.
No, fuck
I
you,
just
you piece of shit.
get
Fuck
this.
you, get the fuck out.
Mute the
Guys,
fucking
hang on,
dumbass.
please.
Get the
Holy
fuck out of here.
Mute the
Guys,
dumbass
please.
now.
You think I'm
Keep
gonna
him
back down? You think I'm
fucking
worried
muted.
about you?
Get this
You think
mute.
I'm worried
Mute the
about you being a
dumbass.
little
Mute
fucking
the
faggot, bitch?
fucking
Get the fuck
dumbass
out of
now.
here.
Holy
This
shit.
could be the
Kick
shortest
him
debate.
out.
I don't give a
Guys.
fuck. You get the fuck out.
Mute
You
him
fucking
fucking
get the fuck
now.
out, you
Mute
fucking
him
pussy.
fucking now.
I don't give
Mute him now.
fucking pussy.
Mute him
Get
now.
the fuck
Mute
out.
him now.
You
Okay, I had to remove you from the stream
cunt.
for just a moment, please.
So,
Like,
as I just fucking
Daz-
said, in academic philosophy, the definition he's saying is false. There is no consensus on that, you fucking dumbass. That's literally what I just fucking said 5 times. Moron! Holy
so
shit.
let's
I
so
win the
let,
debate.
let's
Fucking dumbass.
so let's try this for. I want to bring him back in as soon as he comes back.
He's gone. He's gone. He's
Oh,
gone.
I just put him in the back. I didn't mean to.
No,
I didn't
he's
kick
gone.
him.
He's gone.
Yeah, he left. He left because he's a fucking dumbass. Moral realism. Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Definition of morality. Just fucking Google it. Definition of moral realism. Or
Josh, are you coming back?
No, I'm not going to talk to him. He's a fucking moron. I'm so done.
Does anybody else want to fill in for 40 minutes? J. Mike?
Stanford.
Yeah, my apologies for sending him to the back. I just
Okay.
trying to regain control.
Definition
so
of
that we can
morality,
keep it-
Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. There does not seem to be much reason to think there is a single definition of morality will be applicable to all moral decisions, blah, blah, blah. There are multiple usage. One is descriptively referring to certain codes of conduct that society groups use. Normatively, that refers to code of conduct. You can just say there are multiple definitions. They do not include normativity. This is very, very basic. He's just a fucking moron and ignorant of philosophy. So tired of these dumbasses who just think, oh, no, there's only one definition in philosophy. You fucking retards.
Right, does anybody want to fill in? Godless?
So while Daz is trying to do that, if you have any questions from the audience, throw those up, and we're looking for someone who wants to come in. All right, welcome to the stream, Godless.
I still don't understand how TJump has any justified true beliefs, since all his beliefs would presuppose beliefs that he can't have justification for.
What? So like, I think I
What?
completely ignored you on the last debate and didn't actually give you the answer. So the answer is that I have experience. That's not a belief. That's just a descriptive fact of a thing that exists. I have an experience, and there is some relation between my brain and the experience such that it creates beliefs.
By the way, I can only stay for like 10 minutes, but
That's fine.
I'm sorry, what's the justification for the belief?
Well, so no, that's just, there wasn't a justification yet. So I have an experience. This isn't a belief. This is just a fact of a state of affairs, right? Quality experience. It's a thing that exists. And I have beliefs that are built off of that. And so they're justified in the sense that they're built off of something, right? So I have a justified belief that I'm seeing the TV because I have a belief that's built off of some qualia sense experience.
Yeah, but what's your justification? Like, you believe that the TV is really there, like it's an external object.
No. That's completely irrelevant to the justification. So I have justification in believing I have a sense experience of a TV. This says not. There's no.
Okay, so
claim
you
of the
don't know
TV.
the TV is really there.
Well, that's a separate topic. So when you ask, do I have justification? I only need justification of one thing. So I have justification of a sense experience of a TV. So now I have justification of something. Now, if you're asking specifically what's my justification of the external world, that's a separate argument. Just to get justification.
Okay, do you have
a
justification
belief.
for the external world?
Yes.
Oh, what's the justification that's not question begging?
So I have a justification that I have a sense experience of a TV because it's built off of this existing quality.
Right, but that's consistent with all Cartesian scenarios.
I'm going to build off that. So I'm starting with that. So I start with that I have a justification of my sense experience, and then I can say there's different kinds of sense experience. Like I can imagine a unicorn, but I don't see a unicorn in front of me. So there's these imaginary sense experiences, and then other kinds of sense experiences. We call them external, just as a label. And if I want to say what is in the class of external experiences, I need some methodology to differentiate between them. And the methodology is novel testable predictions. If I make a model that can predict the future and it gets it right, that is justification to believe that whatever experiments I'm doing correspond to the external stuff and not the imaginary stuff, because the imaginary stuff is not good at predicting the future. Therefore, if I can do an experiment like, I don't know, predict when a comet's going to come around the planet and I get it right, that's justification in believing the things about the external world that would entail that, and that it's not just a figment of my imagination.
Okay, so 2 points. First of all, the novel testable predictions thing is like just totally a red herring, because you could make novel testable predictions in all Cartesian scenarios. So no novel prediction, like no observation, is going to be inconsistent with you being in.
That doesn't
I'm not finished. I wasn't finished. I had to respond to 2 points.
Right. Just I wanted to clarify. So like fallibilism, remember before, you don't need. It doesn't matter to knowledge. Like, so I don't know why you're bringing that up.
Well, knowledge is justified true belief.
Right.
So
and you don't need.
Why would justification is raising the probability that a belief is true.
Right, but not to 100%.
Not finished, and I didn't even get to say the other thing I was going to say about the novel the novel predictions, testable predictions.
Right, because you're saying infallibilism. You're making the infallibilism argument. Say,
okay, but why can't we take turns?
Go ahead.
Can I finish what I was saying?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, by the way, novel testable predictions are presupposing your memory is reliable, how the fuck are you going to justify that without question begging, right? How do you know you're making novel testable predictions without relying on your memory, which you can't be justified in believing is reliable? Retard. Okay.
No, I can just, for the same reason, memory accounts is part of qualia experience. I have a direct qualia experience of my memory as well.
Yeah, so how do you know you weren't just created 5 seconds ago with things you think are memories of the past, but they're really not
true? I could be. That wouldn't make me unjustified.
So then what supposed memory would be inconsistent with that being the case?
It doesn't matter. I wouldn't be unjustified.
Okay, so you're not justified with the novel.
No, I am justified. So even if I was created 5 minutes ago,
you can't even know that things happened in the past. You're not even justified in believing things happened in the past.
This is why I interrupted, because like all of your arguments are just arguing for infallibilism. Like infallibilism is false. No. So
wait,
like I could be
justified in believing things happened in the past.
What?
Are you justified in believing things happened in the past?
Yes.
Oh, so that relies on your memory being accurate. Right? Okay. How do you know your memory is reliable?
It's a direct qualia experience. So I have a direct qualia experience.
That's question begging. Question begging.
No, it's not. Which premise is in the conclusion?
If you were just created 5 seconds ago.
Which premise is in the conclusion?
Well, you didn't put it into a syllogism.
Right, because it's not an argument.
Okay, put it into a syllogism then.
So I have a direct sense experience, and I have memories, which are also
presupposes.
What?
Having a direct sensory experience of the past presupposes that the past actually existed, that you actually existed in the past.
Direct experience is,
and that's supposed to be your fucking conclusion that you actually existed in the past.
No, that's present tense. So having a direct experience is present tense, not past tense. If I have a present experience of an idea from the past, which is a memory, so that's in the present, I'm imagining something about the past, right? It's present tense. And
I don't understand what you just said. We're talking about things that happened in the past. You can make novel, testable predictions, right?
A memory is a thought in your
current qualitative state that you have is irrelevant to the novel, testable predictions that you made in the past, right?
No. So again, you're not following here. Just try to track this. A memory is a thought in your brain in the present about the past, right?
Yeah, and if the past never existed, then your memory is not true.
Forget the past right now. Just say, I have a present experience of what I think is a memory, right? And I want to say, am I justified in believing this? Well, I can predict something about what I'm going to see in the next present moment. So if a present moment comes where I have this memory of predicting something about the future and it happens, that's a very good reason to believe it. Because my imagination is very bad at predicting things.
When the next moment comes, you don't know it was the case that the last moment existed because you could have just been created 1 second ago.
No. So all the information I have is just in the present moment. I have a present moment sense experience of an idea from the past. I have a present moment sense experience.
Okay, so then you think you're going to make a novel, testable prediction, and then you think that you're going to go forward in time and see that novel, testable prediction come true?
No, we're only talking about one point in time, just the present moment. There's no past, no.
Okay, so we're not talking about predictions and then predictions coming true.
Stop. So in the present moment, I have a sense experience or a quality experience of a memory of something I think happened in the past. I have a sense experience of what I see in front of me. And there's a correspondence between those two things. I see in the past, I think I made this prediction that a gold brick will appear in front of me, and I see a gold brick in front of me. Because there's a correspondence between those two things, I'm justified in believing the entailments of those beliefs, even if there was no past. So even if I was created exactly at that instance with just this memory, I would still be justified in believing those things.
I don't understand. So if you had the memory of dropping a bowling ball and it falling to the ground, so then you think you're going to test to see if when you drop the bowling ball again, it's really going to drop to the ground. That's relying on you. That's what you're saying, right? Are we on the same page?
So I don't know how that ties into what I was saying. So I'm saying that suppose in the past, I think in the past, I made a prediction that a gold brick will appear in front of me when I pray to Bob, the god Bob. And in the present moment, there is a gold brick in front of me. Now, I remember there not being a gold brick, or I think I remember there not being a gold brick. But I had this memory or this thought in my mind right now that I had predicted that a gold brick would appear in front of me, and it did. Now, I would be justified in believing all of the entailments of that hypothesis in my memory thing, my assumed memory, even if it was false.
But the memory is true.
What?
You're not justified in believing the memory is true.
Yes, I am. I'm justified in believing it's true because it increases the probability, but it's not 100% increase the probability.
What's the argument that it increases the probability?
Because
if you are in a Cartesian scenario where you were just created 5 seconds ago, then the false memories you have wouldn't be justifications about what's going to happen in the future, would they?
They would.
You would have to have justification that you weren't created 5 seconds ago in order for them to be justifications.
No, because it still increases the probability, because the sense experience of me seeing a gold brick is higher under the condition that I'm not a round square or something. So the probability that my statement is true and that we're in the matrix and it's also true, or that I was created 5 minutes ago, all of those are on the explanations of the data hypothesis, and there's a round square in front of me or something is it not. So of the logically impossible things, those are out. So the probability of those go down, and the probability that I'm not seeing a gold brick goes down. So there's lots of things that go down.
If it is the case you were created 5 seconds ago, are you still justified in believing that the false memories you have are going to justify beliefs about the future?
Justification just means increases the probability it's true. All you have to do is say, okay, is this higher probability?
Why would if I create a being and give them false memories about the past, Why would those memories I'm giving them, which aren't true, increase the probability of their predictions about the future? That's stupid.
Because whatever memories you're giving them must entail that they exist and have these memories, which increases the probabilities of all the hypothetical explanations
say that
of
again?
those.
Say that again.
So if a being exists with memories, every hypothesis
I give them false beliefs about the past.
That's fine. So every explanation.
So you're saying their false beliefs would justify their predictions?
Listen to the words. So if a being exists and the being has memories, all of the explanations that explain how the being exists and has memories have a higher probability of being true than all of the explanations that don't entail that. So let's say there's a universe with just a potato and this being doesn't exist. Well, that hypothesis is lower. It's less likely, right? And because it doesn't explain the data, we have a guy with memories. So all of the hypotheses that explain there's a guy with memories have a higher probability of being true because they explain here's a guy with memories than does universe with a potato.
Look, if the being has all false beliefs about the past, you're saying that those false beliefs are justifications for his beliefs about the future.
Okay. So
is that what you're saying? Yes or no? Is that what you're saying?
Sort of. So again, justification is anything that increases the probability it's true, right?
Yeah. So why would false beliefs about the past increase the probability of what's going to happen in the future?
I'm trying to explain this to you. If I have a hypothesis in my brain,
it's actually unlikely. It's actually they're relying on the false beliefs.
The amount of likelihood doesn't matter.
Unlikely that the predictions they're going to make are going to come true.
The amount of likelihood doesn't matter. Remember, the only thing that matters is does it increase the probability?
You just defined justification is increasing the probability likeness of a belief being true.
Yes, the amount it increases does not matter. It has to go up. 0.00001 is up. So up is more than not up.
Yeah, but false beliefs would decrease the probability.
Shut up and listen. So if
false beliefs would decrease the probability.
If I have two possibilities, I have two hypotheses. One is I exist in the past and made a prediction about a gold brick. And two is I don't exist in the past and only a potato exists in the universe. Which one of those has a higher likelihood of being correct?
If it's the case that you were 5 seconds ago?
No. I'm saying if I have two hypotheses.
Probability.
No. So listen again. Two hypotheses. One hypothesis. I never existed. I still don't exist in the present. I don't.
If I create a being in that,
I don't care. You need to answer my example. You need to answer my example. I don't care about your example.
Yeah,
listen carefully.
In your example, are you the being that was created 5 seconds ago?
There was no being created 5 seconds ago. It doesn't exist in this example.
I'm guessing this is a hypothetical.
No. My hypothesis. I'm taking yours out. Yours is gone. There is no 5 seconds ago. There are two hypotheses here.
Wait, so you're saying you're not going to address my hypothetical?
No, I am addressing your question. Your question is how is something count as a justification? So in order to get a justification, you need to increase the probability it's true. So to increase the probability it's true, tell me which one of these is more likely. Which one of these has a higher probability? I'm trying to explain I exist with memories. Now, one hypothesis, I actually exist. And I've existed in the past and came up with these memories. Second hypothesis, I never existed. I clearly don't exist right now. And there's only a magical potato and there's no consciousness in the universe. Now that's a self-contradiction.
Why
right?
are you adding the potato thing in there? How is that relevant?
Wait, stop. I'm working on it. So if one hypothesis is I have consciousness and the hypothesis entails that my consciousness does not exist and only a potato exists, right? That's a contradiction. It's a contradictory hypothesis to say that I have conscious experience, but my hypothesis is that my conscious experience doesn't exist. There's only a potato, right? That would be less likely.
You have to go in like 2 minutes, but
that's right. So which is less likely? A universe where there's only a potato and my conscious
your
doesn't
current
exist?
Conscious experience is not your memories about the past.
Literally irrelevant. So again, which is more probable? If one is more probable than the other, that increases the probability.
I don't understand your question.
Okay, so I exist. I have experiences and memories or whatever. I don't care if they're true. Literally irrelevant if they're true. What I'm saying is which is a more plausible or more probable explanation? That I exist and it existed in the past, or that I never existed at all and there's a magical potato and I don't exist? Which has more probability of being true? This is a very simple question.
Look, I don't understand the potato thing, but if
the potato is zero. The potato has a 0% probability. It cannot be true because I have conscious experience. Because my conscious experience exists in the universe, any hypothesis that entails I don't is wrong, right? It has a 0% probability.
If you don't have access to the past, then you're missing half the equation.
Literally irrelevant. So I'm saying in hypothesis 1, I never existed, not in the past, not in the present, not in the future, never existed, just a potato. So my existence does not exist in this hypothesis. Now, is that one more or less likely than a hypothesis I do exist and have memories?
I don't understand.
Okay,
Why
so
are
we have data.
I don't understand the relevance of the potato.
Because it answers your question exactly and literally. Your question is why are you justified in believing, or do memories justify?
Is it more likely that you really existed in the past, or more likely that you did not? We don't have access to that if you're relying on your memories, because you're not justified in relying on your memories. You don't have access to the probability.
Oh my God, that's so stupid. So I have two hypotheses.
Do you have access to the probability?
Yes.
If you didn't exist before, do you still have access to the probability?
In the present, yes.
No, about the past.
Again, forget your stupid
You're saying
analogy.
you're justified in your beliefs about the past.
This is so simple, Godless. Forget, we're only in the present. Forget the past. The past literally doesn't make a fucking difference.
That's the whole. This is what we're talking about. Your memories. Why are you saying forget the past when we're talking about whether or not you can rely on your memories?
Oh my fucking God! This is so simple. Which hypothesis has a
I'm
higher
sorry,
probability of being true?
Are you claiming that the past is irrelevant to whether the question of whether or not you can trust your memories?
The past is irrelevant to getting justification from your memories. Yes, which is
So the past is irrelevant to your memories, even though past is in the definition of a fucking memory.
Stop.
You're an idiot.
I just proved this to you. I deductively proved this to you. Justification is something that increases the probability.
What's the first premise? Put it into solution. What's the first premise? What's the first premise?
Shut up. Justification is something that increases the probability something is true.
That's your first premise? Wait, the justification thing is your first premise?
Sure.
Okay, that's the first premise. Now, what's the second premise?
Okay, so I have a memory.
Wait, hang on. I'm going to type it out in the live chat. Hang on. We're going to type out your syllogism in the live chat.
I'm just going to tell you the argument. So
no, I want to. Why do you have a problem with me typing it out?
No,
we're going to laugh at this.
You can stop talking and type and not keep talking. Those are not mutually exclusive things. So the stop talking part is what I'm trying to get to. So I have a justification. Justification is anything that increases the probability of a proposition being true. I have a memory that I exist and have existed in the past with memories. Now that has more probability.
Wait, sorry, I'm on my phone, so it's taking me a while to type it out. It's okay. So justifications increase. I'm typing out the first premise. Hang on. Because you're just going to have to repeat it. We're typing this out. So justifications increase the probability of a belief being true.
Oh my God.
Okay. Premise 2.
So I have an
experience. What's the second premise?
I have an experience with memory.
Well, that's supposed to be your conclusion, right?
No, it's a premise. So the conclusion is my experience with memories is more likely or increases the probability it's true. That's the conclusion. But I haven't gotten to the conclusion yet. So the second premise is I have experiences with memories. I'll just keep going now. That's fine. So I have experiences with memories, and my experiences with memories give me a hypothesis that I exist and existed in the past. And that hypothesis has increased likelihood of being true, because if there's any hypothesis that does not entail my existence, it will have a decreased probability of being true, 0%. And so because my hypothesis that I exist and have memories is more likely to explain the data, it has an increased probability of being true. Therefore, my memories increase the probability of the proposition being true that I exist. Pretty simple. You guys still there, James? Can you still hear me? Did she die? Maybe your phone died.
Yeah, we can.
Yes, I can still hear you.
Oh, can you guys not hear me? Could you not hear me?
No,
I couldn't.
Oh, I was trying to type in the live chat, so maybe that's why. Oh my God, I have to go, but I really want to fucking. Oh my God, this is really fucking annoying. I'm opening up my goddamn fucking laptop now because when I go to the live chat on my phone, you guys can't fucking hear me. Okay.
Well, so it's recorded.
Josh is gonna deal with the baby, so I'm gonna just give me a minute to open up my laptop because we're gonna type this out in live chat. So the first premise is justifications increase the probability that a belief is true, right? So hang on, let me get on my laptop. What's the conclusion of your argument going to be, by the way? That your memories are reliable?
That my memories increase the probability of a belief being true. Therefore, it's a justification. Therefore, I'm justified.
While she is typing and getting the premises, please like and subscribe to Clubhouse Debates. Also, super chats are welcome. They help keep the lights on. Also, Daz has other debates planned and other content coming up this week, so make sure you click the notification bell.
Okay, what's the second premise?
I have quality experience of memories.
Okay, you have the belief that you're look.
Well,
what are memories?
So this is not an entailment that the memories are true. It's just I have a quality experience of a.
You don't even know what I was going to say. What are memories? Memories are if you have a memory, then it is actually the case that the past occurred, right?
There are false memories.
Yeah, that's what a memory is.
No,
it's a recollection of the past, moron. That's what a memory is. So you can have false beliefs that you think are memories, but they're not fucking memories if they never occurred. Idiot.
What's a false memory?
You deny that a memory is a recollection of the past.
What is
you deny that a memory is a recollection of the past?
Is a false memory a thing in neurology that literally everyone in brain science knows about? Other than you?
I think false memory is gibberish, because if the recollection of the past never occurred, then it's not a recollection of the past, is it?
You're an idiot. That's literally a thing in neurology. That false memories.
I don't care what idiots and neurologists and what idiots in neurology say. Physicists say dumbass shit. I don't care. Bring them in here and I'll fucking show that what they're saying is gibberish. A memory is the recollection of the past.
No,
so if belief you have about the past that you think is the memory is not true, then it's not actually a fucking memory because you're not recalling the past.
No, so
you're saying a memory is not a recollection of the past.
A memory is a perceived recollection of the past. It isn't necessarily a recollection of the past. A lot of memories are false. In fact, the majority of them are false. Memories are not recollections of the past. Memories are a piece of sense data saved in a part of your brain, which then recalls it as associated to the past. It isn't necessarily, there's no necessary collection to the past. It's not what it means.
Okay, so look,
please
let's not argue over the semantics of memory. So instead of saying memory, let's just say your beliefs about the past.
That's a memory. Yes, it's a false memory, or could be a false memory. It could be a false memory. It could be a true memory. We don't know. It's just a memory.
Yeah, if you disagree that memories are recollections of the past, I don't know what to say to you. I could Google.
False.
You want me to Google the definition?
Yes, please Google false memory. What is a false memory? A false memory is a recollection that seems real in your mind, but is fabricated in a part or a whole. An example of a false memory is believing you stated the wishing machine.
I just Googled, bitch! I just Googled fucking memory, and it says something remembered in the past, a recollection.
Does it say it's true?
When you type into Google memory definition, that's the first fucking definition that comes up, idiot.
Does it? Yeah, it says a recollection.
You have an actual recollection about the past that did not occur. Then it's not an actual recollection about the past, is it?
It's
if you have a belief about what happened in the past, it's not true. You're not actually recalling the past, are you? If you were just fucking created 5 seconds ago, then your belief about what happened in the past isn't actually true, right? It's not actually a recollection.
Oh my God, learn to read.
Can you have a recollection about something that doesn't exist?
Learn to read.
Can you have a recollection about something that didn't exist?
Yes. It's called a false memory. Like literally, learn to read. Memory, the faculty by which the mind.
What do you think fucking recollection means? Should we need to Google that for you, TJump?
Okay. Recollection. The action or faculty of remembering something.
Yeah, and what is the memory? Something that, let me go back to it. Something remembered from the past, a recollection. So
Wait,
if the
wait,
past
wait,
doesn't
stop,
exist,
stop,
then
go
you're
back,
not
go back.
remembering anything
Oh my God,
from
you're so
the
dumb.
past.
Oh my God.
If
So,
the past doesn't exist, can I speak, please?
No, I want
If the
to go back
past,
to the definition. So the definition,
if
something
the past
remembered,
doesn't exist,
something remembered from the past. Could it be a false remembrance and still be a remembered thing from the past? Yes. Yes, it can.
look, if you have a belief about what happened in the past, but the past doesn't actually exist, then you're not recalling anything from the past. If the past doesn't exist, you can't recall anything from it, moron. I have to go. Here, there's somebody else in here. Let this retard talk to you.
Please Google false memory, just basic neurology. That would be super helpful.
Buscuit, we lost you. Come back in, and we'll put you back on the stage. Somehow you fell out. TJump, so just to follow along, we're waiting on him to come back. Are you saying that memories can be true even though they're false, or how are you fleshing that out?
No. So like a remembered thing from the past doesn't mean to be true. It could be a false remembered thing from the past. So the fact that it's remembered from the past doesn't necessarily tell it's true or false. So saying you remember something from the past, it's a memory because it's saved in your brain as a thing that you recall as happening in the past. Doesn't mean it's true. So the vast majority of beliefs are false memories. So the fact that you remember it from the past doesn't mean it actually happened in the past. It's not how memory works.
So you would say that memory would not be like a justified true belief then?
What? No, memory is just a thing you believe from the past. Whether or not it's justified is about probabilities and other questions. So it doesn't just the definition of memory doesn't make anything justified. It's just a thing you remember happening in the past, or a thing you think happened in the past. To say it's justified, you would need more information about the probability that it's true, or whatever other entailment your argument has. So in the context of Godless's silly claim that you're not justified in believing it, justification is, again, anything that raises the probability it's true. My memory states that I existed in the past, and if I compare that to a hypothesis where I did not exist in the past, like a universe with nothing but a potato, past, present, future, nothing but a potato, my memory that I existed in the past raises the probability I did, or because that one, or existed in the present, it raises the probability I do exist, because that has a more likely to be probable than the one where I never existed, like a potato universe, which is therefore a justification.
So would you say, because the majority of memories are false and memories not reliable, then your recollection of how you exist in the past can't be reliable as well, correct?
What would still raise the probability over something of me not existing, like a potato. So it's still a justification. It's just not as good of a justification. So all you need to do for justification is increases the probability it's true. So if it increases the probability by 0.000001, it's still justification, small one.
So if I'm thinking through the probability, we've fleshed out that you believe that the majority of memories are false, which means that, probability speaking, more than likely your memory is false. So I don't know how that would increase the probability scale from your perspective if they're all majority false.
Two different arguments here. One, the way in which they're false isn't like they're 100% discordant with reality. So they're still most likely true in some degree, but that's completely irrelevant. Literally doesn't matter. None of that matters. Is it more likely that I exist now, my hypothesis that I currently exist and I exist in the past, is that more likely than I never existed and don't exist? Which one of those statements is more likely? Or you, take you, for example. Say you have two hypotheses. One hypothesis, you exist now and existed in the past. Second hypothesis, you never existed and don't exist in the present. Which is more likely? Which has a higher probability of being true?
From my view, I believe that memory is reliable, so I would have a different.
Oh my God, forget memory.
Concept.
Which hypothesis is more reliable? Hypothesis 1, you exist now and in the past. Hypothesis 2, you don't exist now and you never existed in the past. Which of those two is more likely to explain what you are currently seeing?
Yeah, I would take the latter. I believe that memories of me existing in the past is evidence that I exist.
Oh my God. Forget your memories. Your memories don't matter here. Which hypothesis is more likely? You presently exist and existed in the past. There are no memories. I never mentioned memories in any part of the statement. Which hypothesis is more likely? You presently exist and existed in the past. You presently do not exist and did not exist in the past. Which one of those is more likely?
The first one's more likely from my view.
Yes. So the probability has gone up, right? You now have a justification to believe that one over the alternative. You now are justified in believing that one and not the other one. You have a justification, right?
I can understand that from my perspective, but I know Godless and Realistic are both nihilists, and they don't necessarily hold to existence in the same way that I would as a theist. So I think they would say that because the majority of their past recollection can be false, then there's no probability reason to justify and trust that.
Literally doesn't. So let's say there is a universe with a brick. Nothing but a brick. In the present moment, there's a universe with a brick. There are no people, no conscious experience, and you have two hypotheses. The first hypothesis is that the brick currently exists and existed in the past. So both of these things are in the hypothesis. And the other hypothesis is the brick does not exist and didn't exist in the past. And so, and you know, in the universe, I literally just told you there is the brick. So the hypothesis that says the brick doesn't exist is a stupid hypothesis, right?
Welcome back to the stream, Godless. That way I don't have to try to steelman your argument. Are you able to stay for the last 9 minutes?
Well, I'm just gonna say one thing and go. Actually, James, I didn't hear what was said after anything that was heard said after it, but I can't believe I looked over that. You made an excellent point because TJump said that most memories are not actually true, right? But he's claiming that his memories are reliable. Reliable means that it's doing what you think it's doing more often than not. So he holds the contradictory belief that his memories are reliable, meaning they're doing what he thinks they're doing more often than not, and he believes that they're not doing what he thinks they're doing more often than not. What a moron!
Literally not what I said at any point. So again, there's the distinction between when memories are false, that doesn't mean they are 100% false. Like when you say memories are false, that means they don't track reality with 100% accuracy, but they can generally track reality and still give you justified beliefs. So I have a memory that I drank coffee 5 minutes ago. And is my memory perfect? No. It does not remember literally every atomic structure of what's going on, but it gives me a general idea, and that general idea can increase the probability. It doesn't need to be 100% accurate. So when most memories are false, that doesn't mean they're 100% false. So stupid. But again, irrelevant to the point here. So back to the actual point, which is the beginning point of the argument. Two hypotheses. One hypothesis is there's a brick in front of you, or a brick that exists in the universe, and it exists in the past. Another hypothesis is there is no brick in the universe, it doesn't exist in the past. And we're just going to tell you right now, it is true that there is currently a brick in the universe. Which hypothesis has a higher probability?
Now, are we going off the basis that majority of memories are still false? Or
I never said memory. There is zero mention of memory at any point in this statement. So it is true there is a universe with a brick right now, present moment, a universe with a brick and nothing but a brick.
Okay.
There are two hypotheses. First hypothesis, there is a universe with a brick in the present and in the past. Second hypothesis, there is no brick. Which has a higher likelihood of being true, given that we already know there is a brick?
Yeah, we would know that there's a brick because we asserted there was a brick in the beginning of that. So right. Yes, we would absolutely know. But if we were
wait. So the question is which hypothesis has a higher probability of being true? Which has been justified in that the probability that the proposition is true is higher?
Yes, in that statement, the first one. But if we take that back into the analogies that were used,
that's all you need.
But if we take that back into the analogies, it would be my memory of the brick, or seeing the brick, or interacting with the brick, and then we'd have to see his memory.
The brick is the memory. So if I say I have a memory, and that memory is, of course, I have a hypothesis that I exist in the present and in the past to create the memory. Is that hypothesis more likely than that I don't exist and never existed?
And welcome, Biscuit. There's like 6 minutes left. If you have question or something you would like to add.
No. Just wanted to come on here and say what's up. I'm over here feeding my daughter.
How's it
Somebody
going?
came in my DMs on Clubhouse and said somebody rage quit and they needed me to fill in.
Yes.
Well, you're a bit late.
But
Fill
one
in
thing-
6 minutes
I
on
do have one
time.
thing to add. Like, I think TJump and I might have settled on this a while ago. We were talking about if Christianity or if religion gives you hope, or if the truth, if we all found out the truth was one that would make us miserable, would that still be a truth worth having in your view?
No.
TJump, that's to you. If someone said, look, I'm going to reveal to you the ultimate truth of the universe, what's truly behind it all, but it's going to make you miserable, and everyone you tell is going to be made utterly sick, like miserable by it. Would you still want that truth?
No. So as I told you before, I value happiness more than truth. So I would not want to know that truth unless I could use it to achieve less suffering. And so if it's only going to cause me more suffering, then I would prefer to be happy than to know the truth.
So why not just embrace pragmatism and just say, look, if it's useful, which religion has definitely had evolutionary utility, why not just say, okay, religion is true as such?
I do, but what does that have to do with? So like the question, is it true, is still a valid question to ask, even if it makes you happy. And so even if it's the case that the true fact would make you unhappy, if someone asks me, what is the true fact? I'm still going to tell them this is the true fact. So the question of whether or not something is true and whether or not it makes you happy are two separate questions that you can answer independently. It's not.
But the pragmatist would say that it's true full stop if it has pragmatic value. They're not a correspondence theorist.
Well, that's just silly. So I think that truth is correspondence to reality, but if it makes you happy, then yeah, I would say you would be better off believing the one that makes you happy, even if it's not true, but it's still not true.
Right, but the pragmatist would say all that it takes to be true is for it to be useful. So if I were to say to you, knowledge is not a justified true belief. Knowledge is the recognition of relevance in information.
It's a useful belief.
Would you say that I've lost my mind?
Well, I mean, you can change the definition of truth whatever you want, because there's no like objective definition of truth. But I think that we're just talking about different things at that point. So if you want to define truth that way, that's fine, but you just have to make up a different word for it that isn't what's commonly used in the culture or whatever. So if by truth what you mean is what the philosophers mean, then you would just be talking about a different thing entirely. And so when you ask, is something true, and by true you're referring to what the common usage of the word is, which means correspondence to reality or something along those lines.
Facts.
And
hey, listen, say daddy's right.
say TJump is right. TJump is right.
Say TJump is wrong.
TJump is right.
Yo,
right.
hey,
I
I know I
Just
jumped in
Google
late,
it.
bro. We gotta schedule another conversation because I got a lot of different God proofs. I'm gonna turn you into a theist. We're gonna get you baptized. You're gonna lead a youth group. You're gonna be a youth group pastor by the time I'm finished with you, TJump. I guarantee it.
Well, you just need to introduce me to hot blondes, and then I'll convert instantly.
Yo, man, salute. Holla at me.
See ya.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Biscuit. Well, that's pretty much it. It's been disastrous. It's been fun. It's been funny. We've got 2 minutes. What's your thoughts on pre-sup before we go?
Pre-sup is better than what we saw today.
What's
At
your thoughts
least
on
pre-sup
Dark
have coherent understanding of some topics. That's useful. I actually think pre-sup is fun as a game to play. Their debate tree is very entertaining. It's very, the way that the structure of their argument is formed is very intelligent, and so it's fun to engage with as long as you're talking to an intelligent pre-sup who can articulate and listen to positions. Then the debate tree structure of pre-sup is very intellectually invigorating to engage with.
What's your method against the pre-sup? Do you have like an objection to the tag argument?
I mean, depends on the pre-sup. There's different strategies they use, but I haven't debated pre-sup in a while. I'd say that I would probably ask them why they think it's impossible to ground knowledge in quantum fields or something, a different necessary being. And then depending on what they say, I would respond differently. Normally they bring up, if they're a bad precept, they're just going to bring up philosophical problems that they don't understand the answer to. And then I can just say, well, you can't answer that with God either. And if they try to answer it, I'll just show that the same answer would apply to the quantum field. And so I can mirror their arguments back and forth.
Okay. And since we all love a bit of Darth Dawkins here, what's your thoughts on him?
He is a lol cow that is meant to build views, and it is good. I need more lol cows on my channel.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's the hour anyway. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Thanks. See you guys later.